Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we are going to see the topic Ansible master slave configuration and about the YAML basics. Actually, the Ansible architecture is called as master slave configuration. Ansible functions on a master slave architecture where a central control machine is called as master. This master will manages and automates tasks on remote servers. Remote servers are otherwise called as slaves or managed nodes. In this diagram we can see the Ansible control node is the node where the Ansible will be installed, which will control and configure or do the automation on the remote connected nodes. The remote connected nodes are called as managed nodes, which will be managed by the Ansible control node. And the communication in between the Ansible control node and the managed node will be established by SSH protocol. The managed nodes may be run in different operating systems. It doesn't a problem. Managed nodes may be a server with different tasks. The control machine is otherwise called as machine, a master, where the Ansible is installed. And this is the place from where the automations will be initiated. The Ansible control machine contains Ansible engine. This is actually the core Ansible software. Inventory file. Inventory is a file that will consist of the list of all managed nodes, their IP addresses or host names, and any group assignments. Playbooks are also the YAML files which will define the automation task to be performed on the managed nodes or to be executed on the managed nodes. Modules are pre-built units of code that perform specific tasks, example installing software, managing files, starting services, etc. Configuration files. These are actually the files for global settings and other configuration details. Managed nodes or slaves, these are the remote servers or devices that Ansible manages. They do not require any Ansible software or engine installed on them. They only need SSH server for secure communication with the Ansible control node and Python. Most Ansible modules require Python to be present on the managed node to execute tasks. Let us see the working of Ansible master slave configuration. And for that, the Ansible node will maintain the inventory. Inventory is the stock which will maintain the list of connected nodes, their IP addresses, their identifications, etc. The configuration, that is the inventory file, will be defined in this manner where managed nodes can be grouped. For example, those maintaining the databases, those will act as web servers, etc. And along with the group name, the host name of the remote servers have to be listed out. Otherwise, the database name, their IP addresses or the host name have to be listed out in the particular groups. SSH communication is needed. The Ansible control node connects to the managed node using SSH communication, where the passwordless authentication using SSH keys is typically set up for convenience and security. Module execution. When a playbook is executed, Ansible pushes small programs called modules to the managed nodes over SSH. These modules are executed on the managed nodes to perform the specified task. Task execution and state management. The modules execute the task on the managed nodes, ensuring they reach the desired state defined in the playbooks. Ansible is idempotent, meaning it will only make changes if the system is not already in the desired state. Result collection. After module execution, Ansible collects the results and returns them to the control machine, providing feedback on the success or failure of the task. This agentless architecture simplifies setup and maintenance, as there is no need to install and manage agents on each managed nodes. Ansible heavily relies on YAML, that is yet another markup language or ain't markup language for defining its automation workflows, particularly through Ansible playbooks. YAM is chosen for its human readable and straightforward syntax, making it easier to write, understand, and maintain configuration files and automation scripts compared to formats like XML or JSON. Key aspects of YAM in Ansible. Playbooks. Ansible playbooks, which are the core of Ansible automation, will be written entirely with the help of YAM. They describe the task to be executed on managed nodes. Structure. YAM uses indentation to define the structure and hierarchy of data. This is crucial for correctly representing place, task, modules, and their parameters within a playbook. Data representation. YAM represents data using key value pairs, list or sequences, and dictionaries. Key value pairs. Simple data representations. For example, name, install, nginx. List, ordered collection of items, typically indicated by dash at the same indentation level. Example, a list of tasks in a play. Dictionaries can also be created. Dictionaries are unordered collection of key value pairs used to group related properties. Example, parameters for an Ansible module. Indentation. Correct indentation is paramount in YAM. It defines the relationship between different elements in a playbook. Incorrect indentation will lead to syntax errors. Comments. Lines starting with the hash symbol are treated as comments in the YAM language and will be ignored during the execution, which will be allowing for documentation within the playbook. Anchors and aliases. YAM features like anchors and aliases allow for defining and reusing variables values or complex data structures within a playbook, promoting reusability and reducing redundancy. And let us see some example for different data structures that can be created in YAM. List, we can create list of items, and in YAM the list should be started with a hyphen. Each items should be mentioned with a dash or a hyphen. For example, here we are creating list of fruits: apple, orange, strawberry, mango, etc. Also, we can define dictionaries. Dictionaries represented in a simple key value data structure. Here, Martin. Martin is the name of the dictionary having different dictionary items. The name Martin developer, job developer, skill elite, etc. Also, more complicated data structures are also possible, such as list of dictionaries, dictionaries whose values are list or a mix of both. Here in the example, employee records. In the employee records, actually, here a Martin. For Martin, initially we are creating dictionaries with items, name, job, with the values. Then we are creating list of skills: Python, Perl, Pascal, etc. So it is also possible in YAM. These kind of data structures are called as flow collections. Ansible doesn't really use these too much, but you can also specify a boolean values in several forms. True or false values we can use. That's all about the YAM basics. Thank you.